So how this started is during a massage and working with energy, all of a sudden I had luminous threads that were around him. Yeah, I got nervous. I totally got nervous. So I could see these threads that were moving that was like, you know how we have a concept when we talk about the aura, the energy body, what surrounds the body. And this was like this netting, this webbing that had different colors and different vibrations and different patterns. It was this thing that was around them. And I had never seen anything like it. I'd never heard anything like it. So it was like, what's that? That is really cool. And I could feel like patterns and stories. And there was just like these energies that you could feel. One of the things that if you're in this field, you've heard a lot about is like cord cutting and pulling energy out of the body, stagnant energy, which you move a lot of in massage, and bringing in, relieving binds. And what this was, it was so different. It was like an outside, like the energy field. And that's the things that that make up the energy field that holds all of it in this space. And it's what you let out. When we're pulling the cords out, do we get it all the way? Is it in this field? Is it what it's attracting back down? It is like the coding of what comes into this space. And I didn't have all of that then. I'm just seeing this come, and I realized I could shift it. And I knew what I was shifting, and I knew what I was weaving, and I could see it pulling out, and I could see it like unraveling. Like you would take a cord, when you get a sweater or a rug and you get that one, and it's like you pull and you think but it just keeps like unraveling. And it was doing that. And then when I could redesign it or bring in a new piece of thread that would come in, and it was just like, oh my goodness, it was so beautiful, and it surprised me, and I had no idea what it was. And I was calling it lace work at the beginning. It was like, because all I could think of was how the really fine threads on like those delicate doilies or something. And I'm like, it's like that, but it's not like pattern. It's like sporadic. There's different things in different parts. I'm like, it's like lace work. I didn't know what to call it.
So it just started happening kind of like I don't want to say necessary. I mean, obviously it's intuitive, but like out of nowhere, you can't really chalk up to like, an explanation of this circumstance or this experience, or you just one day started seeing it on somebody.
I was doing energy work in this session, and I had a lot of that, but I don't like, if there's more, I'm sure there is, because I'll get into, it turns out it's actually a lineage, right? It's passed down. It's in my family, but I didn't have any awareness of that. That was the very first awareness that I had. And I don't remember what I was working on energetically with the person, because it was just like, what is this?
It just showed up.
When you get that pattern interrupt, like in a dream, when all of a sudden you have awareness and you're like, home, you're like, here we are. It was this pattern interrupt. It was new. I hadn't seen it. It surprised me. It was beautiful. It was exciting, and it happened. And sometimes really unique, amazing things happen in sessions. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was going to come back. I thought it was.
You just thought it was like a cool thing that happened in this
session.
moment.
Yes. And then it kept happening, and it kept. And so then I started looking for it, and I could see it so fast. And it was like this thing that was here. And I'm like, it was, oh my gosh, it was so exciting. It was so exciting. At that time, I didn't recognize it as a standalone, because it was something that I did with massage. It was something that I did with other energy modalities. It was in this space. It was a combination.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what it looked like on its own. I didn't know if it was it on its own thing. I just knew it was something that was starting to come through, that I hadn't seen, hadn't heard of, that nobody had talked about, that was new to me and new in this space. And it was fun and exciting. And I was noticing more shifts, and I was noticing people's reactions when I was moving the threads. And it was just something that was really exciting. And then COVID hit.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right. I stopped having clients for a while, and then I slowly started bringing them back. So the numbers definitely decreased.
Yeah.
And it's something that kept going. And then we had a family experience happen that I stopped massaging. I just stopped massaging after that. I didn't really come back to it. And then we moved to Tennessee where I didn't renew my license. So for a while it stayed dormant.
During that time period, I'm wondering this because I don't know this part of it, but I'm curious if, 2020 happens and then, massage died off because for obvious reasons. And then after you stopped doing massage, did you ever have moments in between, because I know that Prism Light is one of those things too that you have experienced, since then in working with people in massage. But did you have moments where you were still accessing it and using it and it was showing up? Or was it kind of like something that just went dormant in a sense?
It went dormant for a while.
Uh-huh.
It went dormant for quite a while. I wasn't doing energy work on myself. I wasn't doing it on anybody.
We were so heavily involved into like that was during the time period too where we were doing like super deep therapy work, which probably was a component of, why it is what it is today. I think there was still parts of you that had to be healed and processed and unpacked and all those kind of different things too. So maybe it was by design.
It came before that. It started showing up before that. But during that time, I think I had a lot of healing that I had to do before I could see it all the way. It came when it was supposed to. And one of the things that I was able to recognize. So I felt like I had this modality in me. I knew that there was this modality and I was starting to see it. And I'm like, there's more to that as we got here. There's more to that. I'm curious what it does. And then I felt like I didn't get to fully explore that because I wasn't working with clients anymore. I wasn't doing weaving calls when we were coaching clients. We weren't doing that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, there's more to that I didn't get to explore. And I knew I could feel that pull coming back in where I wanted to explore it. I knew this was supposed to come through. I knew it was supposed to come through and I just didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just knew I had a passion building inside me of where it wanted to come out. Truthfully, it was probably it telling me like, I'm coming out, get ready. We're doing this,
It's happening, right?
Right. There was even a part where I came to peace with it not coming through me.
Okay.
I was starting to recognize what was happening with it and understood that even if I couldn't bring it out, that it was too big and it was too important, that it was going to go to somebody that could.
Yeah.
So I was able to completely let go of the responsibility that it was up to me, that it came out when I knew it was going to happen. And then I was like, and I'm really excited to practice this. I'm really excited to step into this space.
We'll make it out and fall in love tonight.
Thanks for tuning into the episode. If you haven't yet, please take a moment and subscribe, rate, review, and share this episode with somebody. There's new episodes of the Steph Craig Show every week. And if you enjoyed this one, be sure to check out some of these clips as well. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you all on the next episode. Expect the best, plan for the greatest.